In this video, we're going to be going over some basic formatting tools using Microsoft Word. There's a lot of tabs up here that you can do lots of different things with. The Insert tab lets you put in pictures. Design lets you design some other fancy things. Page Layout makes you make the page look different. But for today, we're going to be sticking to this Home tab right here. So I have a piece of text right here that that has been typed. It's a story called "The Country Mouse Meets a City Mouse," and this is the piece of text that we're going to be using today. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a title to this text. I'm going to put my cursor at the very beginning of the text. I'm going to hit the Enter key, and I'm going to get some spaces that show up. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you one way to make it easy. I'm going to go ahead and type in a title. The Country Mouse Meets a City Mouse. I should capitalize that. The Country Mouse Meets a City Mouse. Now, right now, this doesn't look like much of a title. It's the same size as the other text, and it doesn't stand out at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size of this text. Notice I'm going to select it, and this little toolbar pops up. I can change the size using this little toolbar. This number right here is the size. You can see it says font size. I can change it to almost anything I want. That's a little bit too big because it takes up too much of the page. I think 24 will be good for now. I can also select this and change the font size up here. If I go here, you can see the font size is changing again. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 24. Now it's looking more like a title, but it still looks a little too much like the text. What I can do is I can go to here, or if I select it, you'll see it here. This is called font. It's the type of style that shows up with the writing. As I mouse over these things here, let me do this from this part so you can see it. As I mouse over these, you can see the title begins to change the style that it's written in. I think I like that one. That one looks pretty good. I can give it some additional effects. If I hit this B right here, that'll make it bold. It'll just put more weight on the lines. I think that looks pretty good. I could also make it italic, which kind of slants the letters and changes the way they're written. I'm going to leave them like so. And if I desired, I could also underline the text if I wanted to. Now this just isn't for the title. If I select all my text here and I choose underline, it'll underline all of the text. But you generally don't want to do that unless you want to emphasize something quite a bit. This text, I would prefer it be straight in the middle, right down the middle of the page. These icons right here are used to do something like that. They will align your text. If I choose this middle one, it'll tell you it's going to center your content on the page. If I click it, you see my text moves slightly to the right. Now it's exactly in the middle of the page. If I go back here, it's going to move over to the left. If I choose this one, it's going to move all the way to the right. We really don't use justify all that much, but it is an option. We usually either keep it on the center or put it all the way to the left. For this one, I'm going to keep it in the center. I can also change the color of my font. If I go to this button right here, it will say font color. I can click this little arrow next to it, and I will get a bunch of options in order to change the color of this text. I think I like this color. Awesome. There are also some other tools you can use to make this text a little more readable. Right now it's on 11-point font. I'm going to go ahead and increase that to 12 so it looks a little better. I have an issue right here with spacing. I'm going to click backspace, see if I can fix it, just because I don't like the way it looks. That's not going to work. Alright, we'll worry about that one later. If the sentences are a little bit too close together, you can use this button here to increase the distance between the sentences to make them a little more readable. Generally, you don't want to go past anything than 1.5. That takes up 2 pages, but now it's a little bit easier to read. I have a nice title, and the only thing really left to put in here is a picture. I have another video on how to input a picture, so make sure to check that out.